how Sarawak comes into the picture of sustainability. The idea came as early as 2017, when our premier, people know him as Abang Jo, thought of the idea of recovering the economy in the term that he used as to leapfrog the economy. Sarawak is growing at BAU, business as usual, at about 3.5 to about 4%. Should we be growing at that stage, at that rate, we would never be achieving what he aspires Sarawak to be a developed state by the year 2030. Meaning to say, we need to grow more than that. We are looking at between 6 to 8% GDP growth in order for us to achieve the 282 billion of revenue by the year 2030, for us to be entitled as a developed state. So this is very tall order. So how does it come about it with a population of 2.8 million? Sarawak we only have about 2.8 million population, and mainly made of young group of population. So how are we going to achieve this big aspiration of ours? And Abang Jo thought of the new economy. That's where he believed in, while maintaining the climate change, we can actually improve our economy together. So doing things concurrently while saving the planet, we grow our economy. So he had that statement in mind. So it was in 2017. That's when he first introduced the idea of hydrogen. Oh, I'm sorry. He started to introduce the idea of digital economy in 2017 when he took over office. I remember in April 2017, he did the first international conference on digital economy. That's all how it all started. So from digital economy, he introduced hydrogen economy. For hydrogen economy, he introduced about carbon credit, and all the way to the latest one that we have recently is the algae production, where actually we're turning carbon, which is waste, known to be waste, into energy. So that's how his plan towards sustainability comes about. And in fact, Sarawak, we have to give credit to our previous leaders, our forefathers, who've been very far-sighted about Sarawak, how Sarawak economy to grow, and backed by renewable energy. In 1996, Sarawak have started its Bakun Dam construction, and of course, it started commissioning around 2011, where one of the biggest hydro dam in Malaysia. It is Bakun. How I wish I can bring you there, but probably better for you to go to the rainforest tomorrow night first, before you go to Bakun. So then you experience the true Sarawak. So in 1996, we started with renewable energy. We planned about but by then nobody recognized the fact that the world is changing, the climate is changing. So, but we have thought of that, and true enough, our renewable energy is now the focus point of our economic development, of Sarawak economic development. So, looking into all these aspects, we came up with our master plan. That was during the COVID-19 in the year 2020, where everybody is under lockdown. Sarawak government sit down with the industries, with the academia, with the community to come up with one master plan called Post-COVID Development Strategy 2030. That's where we encompass the idea of Sarawak to be a developed state by the year 2030. Meaning to say, we need to grow. We need to think of how to go about it. So we have these three pillars. We call it economic prosperity. Our ultimate goal is to achieve economic prosperity for Sarawak. But not forgetting that this prosperity must be shared with the people. It must be socially inclusive. There's no point for you to be rich, to be a nation that is rich, but your people are poor. And doesn't have a part of it, doesn't have equity of it. So we want to achieve this so-called economic prosperity where it is socially inclusive. Everybody will have a part to play and a part to gain from all this economic prosperity. But importantly, while we're achieving this economic prosperity, having all these people to be inclusive, not forgetting that the environment sustainability. There's no point to have a rich country, a happy social, but at the end, our backyard is very dirty. There's no trees, there's no clean air to breathe. So that's not the point. So while we achieve economic prosperity, inclusively, but at the same time not forgetting environment sustainability. So with these three pillars, we need to drive it. There's no point to have master plan, but you cannot implement it. But how to achieve this? Is through data and innovation. The word data and innovation. That's why our current premier, he emphasized very much and he loved the R&D sector. And he believed to develop, to be a developed state, we must have a very strong R&D with innovation behind it. Strong innovation. So when we talk about innovation, we are talking about the future, the new things. And at the same time, as what Lawrence mentioned just now, it's not just talk. It is just do it. So this is his philosophy. Abang Jo believe, our leadership believe that, there's no point just to talk about, but we must do it. As what the Nike say, caption, just do it. So while we're doing it, then we learn and we improve on our findings. This goes well with Mark Zuckerberg. He once says that Facebook would not develop if it just remain as a power plant. What he did was, he said he don't expect perfection. He just roll it out. Along the way, it improved. So these are the basic principles that we over here believe in Sarawak, that we must do it first. We invest. Of course, along the way, we expect adjustment. That's where the whole idea about developing. So therefore, when we talk about hydrogen economy, we really have hydrogen refueling station. The first in Southeast Asia is located here in Kuching. If you Google where is the next closest hydrogen refueling station in this part of the world, Google will point to Kuching. So this was done in 2018. We have our first hydrogen refueling station in Biawak, SEB station. We invested about 15 million, and then after that, once we have that station, what else? We need to educate the people. We need the people to embrace the idea of environment sustainability, believe in the environment, to protect the environment for the future of our children. So the hydrogen refueling station is not good enough, so we brought along 3 Chinese buses, hydrogen-powered buses. When we want to bring it in, it was never in JPJ category of vehicles. So we have to bring JPJ to China to inspect the vehicle before it can come to this part of the world. So, and it's flying since 2018. The bus have been flying for free from here to Damai, where you can enjoy your rainforest festival tonight. So the bus fly free, where you can take the bus and ride in these hydrogen buses. So that is how we want the public, the Sarawakian, to buy the idea that hydrogen is safe. Because the moment hydrogen mixed with oxygen, you get water. So the bus only emit water as byproduct. So these are some of the things that we do. We really do it. And this hydrogen idea came about interest by international players, where big names like Samsung, POSCO, Lotte is actually building up hydrogen production here in Bintulu, in Sarawak. And the Japanese, the Inos, the Sumitomo, and the Chiyoda, they came in to look into developing mega hydrogen as well production, looking at 110,000 tons a year for export to their respective countries. So these are things that's happening here. We're just not talking, but things really happen, really transpire. So the idea of carbon as a waste being captured and don't know what to do with it. Sarawak have a place to offer. We introduced the idea of carbon capture, utilization and storage, CCUS. This is the idea we brought. Not only that, we amend our laws. We amend our laws and our ordinances to accommodate this new development as part of the sustainability. We amended our land code to accommodate carbon trading. We amended our forest ordinance in order to accommodate this new economy. So that's where the importance of the governance aspect of things. So some ask me, I mean, in my previous, now I become a professional speaker. Last I was invited at IEW. I coined the idea of, it's ESG. I coined the idea of GSE, for developed countries. For some of you who came from developed countries, like the European, the Americans, probably Australia, probably Singapore, ESG goes well. And this idea of ESG comes from the developed countries. To them, environment comes first. Because governance to them, it goes without saying. To those developed countries, they have this transparency, good governance, integrity, is part of their life. That's the whole idea. That's why to them now, the issue is environment. But if you look it on the flip, the other flip, to the underdeveloped countries or developing countries, environment is not an issue. I mean, never come in the vocabulary, concern about environment. It's not. They cut down trees. They pollute the rivers. You get to see the issue of Kam rivers in Johor, where school children get poisoned because of the pollution in the rivers. You get issues of NGOs coming to this part of the world saying you are cutting trees without certifying it. You are planting palm oil. To them, to this part of this world, environment is, we can KIV, sort of. So that's why I believe, for this part of the world, to grow with the world, it have to be the G first, come first, the governance. Once the governance is in place, the respect to the law, respect to the regulatory, honesty, integrity, the respect towards law and order, the moment you have that, it cascades down naturally to the social. Then the people believe, the ordinary people on the street will believe the leadership. Once the leadership have that governance, the business community, the public sectors, having this belief and trust in governance and respect audit, and accountability, I think once that's in place, socially it will come and be cascading down to the community. Community will accept it, and whatever the policy that being done by the government, which Sarawak is doing now, as I said just now, we introduced new ordinance, we repeal the ordinance, introduce new laws related to this new economy. Then, only then, you become more responsible public. The moment you have that sense of responsibility, environment comes to your picture. You would not dare to litter your river. You would not cut the trees, but instead you grow trees. You grow trees to earn credit. You make business out of it. That's why in Sarawak now, I'm very grateful to tell you that the third generation of this timber concession owners, they're no longer cutting trees. Instead, they're growing trees to earn credit from this. Because they look at the business opportunity from maintaining this, the concession that they have. In Sarawak, we have about 6 million hectares of protected forests. And we want to maintain it as such. We have 1 million totally protected. So this is another way we want to save for the future in terms of sustainability. So I cannot talk too much because my time is limited to 10 minutes, of which I think now is already beyond 10 minutes. But what I can tell you is that working with the public sector here in Sarawak, you can rest assured that we respect governance, we respect transparency, and we respect integrity in this part of Malaysia. We really respect that, and for the business people, business community who wish to deal with the government or the public sector, you can rest assured that you are in good hand. The next is you need to bring your what do you call, your contribution towards what you can bring back, so that it can be what do you call, a win-win situation where we facilitate, you come in with the investment, and with that master plan, just to end my not so interesting talk, because I see everybody so quiet, that this economy must be private sector driven. It cannot be public sector driven. It will not be sustainable. Only the private sector can bring in the investment, and the public sector will provide the support that they need, and we grow together so that we can achieve this 6 to 8% GDP growth by the year 2030. With that, thank you very much, and I'm open to any question. Thank you.